Imagine feeding $100 bills into a vending machine. You press the buttons and like absolutely nothing comes out.
Oh, the worst feeling.
Right, like you hit the glass, you check the coin return, but your money is just gone. And for a lot of roofing business owners, that is exactly what their digital marketing feels like.
Yeah, totally. It's treated as this mysterious black box,
Exactly. You pour thousands of dollars into Google, hoping that somewhere down the line, I don't know, a customer just falls out.
which is incredibly frustrating when you're dealing with, real world margins. It becomes this digital leap of faith.
Yeah.
They see the cash going out, but the mechanics of how that actually translates into a ringing phone on say, a Tuesday afternoon, it's totally opaque.
Well, welcome to your custom-tailored deep dive. Our mission today is to completely decode this digital lead generation machine for roofing businesses. We're working from a stack of industry guides, data reports, and operational manuals that focus specifically on two major platforms. So we've got Google Local Service Ads, which you'll hear us refer to as LSAs, and pay-per-click or PPC.
And what these sources reveal is, it's going to fundamentally change how you view lead generation.
Oh, absolutely. Success on Google isn't about who has the cleverest ad copy or the slickest logo. It is about treating your marketing as a highly responsive operational system.
Yeah, we're going to explore the underlying reasons why some companies just constantly bleed money while others completely dominate their local market.
We're pulling back the curtain on the invisible metrics that Google uses to judge businesses behind the scenes.
Because once you understand the actual mechanisms, like, for example, how a simple misunderstanding of budgeting can just artificially choke your lead flow, that black box suddenly turns into a transparent engine.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Before we get into the secret mechanics of Google's algorithms, we really need to establish the two main playing fields here, right? LSAs and PPC.
Yeah. And it's not just a difference in like where the ad sits on a web page.
Right. The core difference comes down to how you pay and the mindset of the person you're actually trying to reach. So let's start with LSAs. Here, you are paying per lead, usually somewhere between $50 and $125, depending on your market.
Right.
And these ads target high intent immediate needs.
The intent is the crucial part there. The homeowner typing into Google isn't, just browsing for inspiration for their roof.
No, water is actively dripping into their living room.
Exactly. Or a tree branch just took out a whole section of their shingles.
So think of LSAs as your emergency hotline. Someone's ceiling is leaking, they search roofer near me, and they literally just call the very first number that pops up.
They don't care about your company history at that moment.
No, they care that you can stop the water right now. PPC, on the other hand, charges per click. And that can cost around $150 to $350 to actually generate a single viable lead.
Which is a big jump.
It's significantly more expensive, yeah.
Yeah.
And it requires a lot more strategy. But it functions more like a targeted digital billboard.
Right.
You aren't just waiting for emergencies to happen.
Right. You can handpick specific high-value jobs,
Yeah.
which allows for just incredible precision. Like, say you want to pivot your business to focus heavily on metal roof replacements because the margins are so much better.
Which makes sense.
Right. But LSAs can't filter for that. With PPC, though, you can target the exact search term like metal roof replacement cost.
But that price tag, it terrifies people. The sources emphasize that a major pitfall for roofing companies is obsessing over the cost of the lead instead of looking at the revenue.
Oh, all the time.
Let's invent a hypothetical roofer. We'll call him Bob. So Bob sees that a PPC lead costs $350 and he just panics, right? He thinks he's getting ripped off because his LSA leads only cost $75.
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
Bob is forgetting the math of his own industry. On an average $20,000 roofing job, a $350 lead is still incredibly profitable.
Yeah. You aren't selling a $20 widget where your customer acquisition costs need to be like pennies.
Exactly. The issue isn't the cost, it's the order of operations. The data heavily points to starting with LSAs to build a foundation.
Okay.
You use that emergency hotline to generate immediate cash flow.
Mm.
And more importantly, you use it to stress test your internal lead handling system.
Because there is a physical limit to that emergency hotline, right? You eventually hit what the sources call the local LSA ceiling.
Yes.
There are only so many roofs actively leaking in Bobstown on any given Thursday. He can't just throw an extra $5,000 at Google to magically create more leaks.
Precisely. The demand is finite.
Hmm.
So once you hit that ceiling and your operations are totally dialed in, that is when you layer in PPC.
Right.
You use PPC to hunt for the larger non-emergency replacement jobs to really scale the business beyond what the daily weather dictates.
So Bob turns on that LSA hotline. He's ready for the emergencies. But here's where it gets really interesting. How Bob picks up the phone, dictates his entire future with Google.
Yep.
And the sources give us an exact non-negotiable metric here. You have to answer LSA calls within 15 to 20 seconds.
Which is brutal.
Minutes, seconds.
And that is an incredibly hard pill to swallow for owner-operators who are used to managing things on the fly.
Well, I want to push back on this on behalf of contractors everywhere because this just feels totally detached from reality.
Right.
Let's say Bob and his crew are literally up on a roof.
Right.
They are in the middle of a tear-off. There are nail guns going off everywhere, and the phone rings in his truck. If he misses that call, can't he just, I don't know, climb down, listen to the voicemail, and call the homeowner back 5 minutes later?
You would think so.
Like, think of an automated taxi dispatcher. If you don't key your radio instantly, the dispatcher just gives the fare to the next driver. Is Google doing that?
Google's doing exactly that. And it completely debunks what the industry sources call the callback myth.
The callback myth.
Yeah. Calling that homeowner back 5 minutes later might actually save that specific job. Bob might get the homeowner on the phone, apologize, and book the estimate.
Right?
But doing that does absolutely nothing to undo the missed call penalty in Google's eyes.
Wait, let me stop you there. It's an actual algorithmic penalty. It's not just a missed opportunity for that one day.
It is a direct penalty to your account's health.
Wow.
This is where that black box starts to really open up. Google does not treat response time as a sales metric. It treats it as a crucial performance signal.
Okay.
Every single time Bob misses a call or even just takes 30 seconds to answer, it actively weakens his account's visibility. Google's logic is entirely user-focused, They want to connect searchers with businesses that actually answer the phone.
Because if a homeowner uses Google, clicks the top ad, and no one answers, that reflects poorly on Google's search experience.
Exactly. And if it happens repeatedly, they simply stop showing Bob's ad to the next person. It compounds over time.
That's crazy.
This is why high-performing roofers don't rely on staff availability. They don't just hope the office manager isn't on the other line or in the bathroom when the phone rings. They build ironclad backup systems.
The sources mention that top companies are increasingly using AI voice agents for this exact reason, which is fascinating.
Oh, it's a game changer.
Because human availability fluctuates, right? People take lunch breaks. But algorithms demand mathematical consistency. The goal isn't try to answer fast when we can.
Right.
The goal is an operational system that guarantees a 15-second response every single time, whether Bob is on a roof or sleeping.
And implementing those systems, whether it's a dedicated 24/7 call center or an AI agent, is basically the only way to satisfy the algorithm's hunger for instant gratification.
Okay, so let's say Bob sets up an answering service. He's answering the phone in 10 seconds flat. He's got the system locked down. You'd naturally think the next step to getting more leads is simply turning the financial dial up, right? Just throwing more money at Google.
That's what everyone assumes.
But LSAs do not work like traditional Facebook ads or regular Google ads. The sources recommend setting a minimum weekly LSA budget of $500 to $1,000, or even much more if you can.
Yeah.
But wait, if I tell Google my budget is $2,000 a week, won't they just drain my bank account by Friday? That feels totally counterintuitive.
It feels risky because people confuse LSAs with traditional campaigns where Google will just gleefully spend every dime you offer them.
Right.
LSAs operate on a competitive allocation system.
Yeah.
Your budget isn't a guaranteed spend. It is a ceiling for your eligibility.
It's your eligibility to even play the game.
Think of it like putting a bucket out to catch rain. There is a fixed amount of roofing demand, the rain in any given market. Increasing your budget doesn't make it rain harder.
Okay, I like that analogy.
It just ensures your bucket is big enough that you don't get arbitrarily cut off when a downpour finally happens. If your budget is set artificially low, say $200 a week, Google might pause your ads by Tuesday morning.
So if a massive windstorm hits on Wednesday, Bob is completely invisible because Google thinks his bucket is already full.
He's entirely locked out of the most profitable days.
Yeah.
By setting the budget much higher than you actually expect to spend, you are just keeping the door propped open for whenever the demand spikes.
Got it.
The sources suggest starting with automatic bidding. This lets Google's system learn and optimize for lead volume within that weekly ceiling you've set.
But eventually, once you have steady leads and you really understand your numbers, the sources advise moving to manual bidding. And the strategy here is wild.
It really is.
They suggest setting highly inflated maximum cost per lead bids, like telling Google you are willing to pay $1,000 for a single lead.
Yep.
Why on earth would anyone volunteer to pay $1,000 for a phone call?
Because you won't actually pay that. The auction system only charges you slightly more than the next highest bidder.
Oh.
You might bid $1,000, but you'll still only pay the market rate, which might be like 85 bucks. Bidding that high is just a massive, unavoidable signal to the algorithm saying, do not skip me under any circumstances.
You are basically bullying your way to the top of the list.
Effectively, yes.
Mm.
And we have to consider the economic reality of storm leads here. Consistent retail roofing leads sit around that $50 to $125 mark.
Right.
But if a hailstorm rolls through, those highly competitive, event-driven storm leads can easily jump to $150, $200 or more.
Because every single roofer in a 50-mile radius just turned their ads on at the exact same time.
Exactly.
Demand skyrockets, the auction heats up, and the cost per lead surges. And if Bob's manual bid is set to $90, the algorithm bypasses him completely in favor of the guys willing to pay the storm premium.
He misses the entire week. So widening that net is crucial.
But because you've got that budget net so wide, you're going to catch a lot more fish, and inevitably you're going to pull up some old boots.
Oh, definitely.
What happens when you capture junk? The sources break down the absolute necessity of reviewing, categorizing, and disputing leads immediately in the LSA dashboard. So let me get this straight. By rejecting bad leads and leaving clear, specific notes for Google, I'm not just asking for a $75 refund. I'm actually training Google's algorithm like a puppy, teaching it exactly what a good lead looks like for my specific business.
That is the perfect way to look at it. You are training the machine. Every time you categorize a lead, Google takes note of the customer profile, the search terms used, the location.
Wow.
But this raises an important question. Are you mistaking a lost sale for a bad lead?
Oh, that's a massive distinction. What is the actual difference in Google's eyes? Because to a frustrated business owner, a lead that doesn't buy a roof feels like a bad lead.
Well, a truly bad lead is a fundamental mismatch. It's a homeowner who lives 50 miles outside your defined service area.
Right.
It's a spam call from a telemarketer selling you SEO services. Or they are requesting a service you simply don't offer, like someone calling a dedicated commercial flat roofer to come fix the shingles on their garden shed.
Right, something where you couldn't have taken the job even if you wanted to.
Contrast that with a legitimate homeowner who called you, asked for a quote, but simply chose the competitor down the street because their price was lower. That is not a bad lead. It was a perfectly matched opportunity.
It's just a lead you didn't close.
Exactly. And if you dispute that legitimate lead just to try and claw back your 50 bucks, you are actively lying to the algorithm.
Oh, and Google knows. Right.
They absolutely know. Google evaluates multiple signals behind the scenes, including analyzing the actual call recordings and message transcripts. If they catch you trying to game the system to get free leads, your input becomes untrusted.
They stop listening to your feedback, and your future match quality degrades. But what about the actual bad leads? The people looking for gutter cleaning when you only do roofs. I can imagine a roofer thinking, if I dispute too many of these, won't Google think my business is too picky or that I can't handle volume and start sending me fewer leads overall?
That is a huge misconception that costs contractors a lot of money out of fear. Disputing genuine mismatches and leaving clear notes like requested gutter cleaning, service not offered, does not reduce your overall lead volume.
Really?
It tightens the algorithm's matching accuracy over time. Google wants searchers to find the right businesses. When you help them do that by accurately flagging the wrong matches, you fundamentally improve your return on investment. You stop paying for the old boots, and your ad spend goes entirely toward viable jobs.
Okay, so let's check in on Bob. He has trained the algorithm to send him good leads. He's picking up the phone in 15 seconds. His budget ceiling is sky high to catch the storms.
He's doing everything right.
But there's a problem. The roofer down the street is doing the exact same thing. Let's assume they both read the exact same playbook. How does Google decide who gets the top spot?
Oh.
The tiebreaker, it turns out, is reviews. So what does this all mean? The big takeaway from the sources is that reviews on Google are no longer just about your local reputation or a digital trophy case.
Right. They're not just nice to have.
They are a primary ranking, trust, and conversion signal directly wired into your ads. If you want Google to show your ad first, you need reviews.
And it's not just about hoarding a massive number of five-star ratings once, celebrating and then, forgetting to ask for them for the next 2 years.
Right. And before we get into the mechanics of that, the sources shared this highly effective pro tip that I just loved. It's so simple, but incredibly smart. After a job is completely done, you take a nice photo of the finished roof.
Yep.
You send that photo to the customer via text or email, right alongside the link to leave a review.
It leverages the psychology of the moment perfectly.
Exactly. You're capturing them at peak satisfaction. The stress of the leap is gone, the hammering has stopped, and you're handing them visual proof of their shiny new roof. The prompt encourages them to upload that specific photo with their review.
It gives them something to talk about.
Right, and it provides future customers with undeniable visual proof.
It's a brilliant tactic because photos generate high-quality, keyword-rich reviews that Google values immensely.
Yeah.
But what's fascinating here is the underlying math of how Google judges those reviews. The most critical revelation from the data regarding rankings is this: velocity beats volume.
Velocity beats volume. Okay, break down the mechanism behind that for us. Why does speed matter more than the total number?
Google's algorithm is looking for signs of life. It cares far more about a steady, predictable drip of reviews, say, one new review per week every single week,
Yeah.
than a sudden spike of 20 reviews in one weekend followed by 3 months of total silence.
Because a sudden spike looks highly unnatural to a computer. It looks like you ran a giveaway contest, or you paid a service, or you just sat down and badgered 3 years worth of past clients all at once.
It looks manipulated. Consistent velocity, on the other hand, mathematically proves to Google that you are actively, currently doing good work in the community.
Wow.
Recency matters just as much as the rating itself. If your last review is from 6 months ago, the algorithm assumes your business is slowing down or your quality has dropped.
It's like the pulse of the business. If the pulse stops, Google assumes you're flatlining.
The sources also highlight a major technical shift that happened recently, which makes this even more critical. Google Business Profile reviews and LSA reviews used to be somewhat fragmented.
Okay.
You could have decent LSA trust, even if your main map listing was totally neglected. Not anymore. They are now a unified system. Every single review on your business profile feeds directly into your LSA trust signals.
Meaning your entire digital footprint is tied together.
And you must keep that star rating above a 4.5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, falling below that line doesn't just look bad to a homeowner comparing two companies online. It acts as an algorithmic penalty.
Yeah.
The system will actively strip away your trust signals and drop your lead volume almost immediately because you are no longer considered a premium guaranteed option.
Man, so it really is an interconnected ecosystem.
Totally.
Let's bring this all together and recap what we've discovered for you today. Successful digital marketing for roofers or really any home service business isn't about finding a magic bullet or tweaking a few keywords or just throwing money blindly into the machine.
Right.
It is an operational ecosystem. You have to treat that LSA hotline like a 911 dispatch center. You answer within 15 seconds every single time without fail.
Yep.
You need to maintain artificially high budget ceilings just to stay eligible for the unpredictable demand in your town, understanding that a big budget is a net, not a mandate to spend. You have to ruthlessly but honestly dispute mismatches to train Google's algorithm on who your ideal customer is. And you have to feed the machine with a consistent weekly velocity of reviews to maintain your ranking heartbeat.
Spot on.
You do all of that to build your operational foundation and secure your cash flow, and then you layer in PPC to target high-value jobs and scale on your own terms.
And if we step back and connect this to the bigger picture, it really makes you consider the trajectory of this entire industry.
Oh.
Think about it. If Google's algorithm is intensely tracking exactly how many seconds it takes a human being to pick up a ringing phone and using that exact metric to determine who gets a $20,000 roofing job, what happens to the market when AI voice agents start answering every single contractor call in 1.5 seconds?
That is a wild thought. If everyone adopts the perfect technology, the playing field levels out instantly.
Exactly. In a world where immediate, flawless digital response is perfected by AI across the board, will the actual human touch, the slightly out-of-breath owner picking up the phone from a job site become a unique competitive advantage that homeowners crave, or will it just become a permanent algorithmic penalty?
When everyone has a perfectly optimized digital vending machine, what actually makes the candy bar worth buying? Something to think about the next time your phone rings. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.